So what we're going to do is take Phineas here on a tour of destruction through what this game calls Exploration Survival Mode. This is Disney Infinity 2.0, by the way. There are a couple playsets with this door that allows you to access Exploration Survival Mode. And all that is the game randomly decides a background, randomly decides some environmental assets, and randomly decides some enemies for you to fight. And you proceed through all of these randomly generated levels until you reach the final level and then finish it, but I've never finished it. It's a long-ass game mode. You can't save your place and come back later. If you die on any level, you have to restart Exploration Survival Mode from the beginning. It's actually a roguelike game in Disney Infinity 2.0, which is a little bizarre. And it's entirely combat-focused. It's not like an awful experience to play this or anything. But Disney Infinity's combat, even though I enjoy it, is a bit simple, and 50 levels of this is a lot. I think it's 50, I don't know, I've never finished it. It might be 30, I know the difficulty increases as you go on, but it only increases after a certain number of levels. Basically, it's long. I know I've said that a couple times now, it's a long game mode. And I'm not sure anyone else has finished it either, but surely someone must have. This is Disney Infinity we're talking about. It sold really well, and then after it got discontinued, everybody forgot about it. And the Disney Infinity 1.0 and 2.0 versions got even more forgot about, because most people seemed interested in the toy box, where you can make your own games and creations, and less interested in the playsets. But the playsets are what I came to Disney Infinity for primarily. And Exploration Survival is not exactly a glowing playset edition or anything like that. It does randomly choose enemy assortments from Disney Infinity 1.0 and 2.0 for you to fight, and they are fun to fight just as they were fun to fight in the games they're from, and you can fight them as any of the Disney characters from Disney Infinity 2.0 or 1.0. And that adds to the novelty a bit, you know, usually you can't mix and match characters in playsets, but with Exploration Survival, you can beat up enemies as anyone, even Phineas from goddamn Phineas and Ferb can run around destroying enemies from Pirates of the Caribbean if you want. But I think the reason Exploration Survival Mode exists is likely just for utility. When Disney Infinity 2.0 came out, every character got a skill tree to level up, for combat purposes. Every character, every single one from 1.0 got a skill tree. And there was like a lack of meaningful ways to level them up if you weren't playing online multiplayer or playing other people's levels. Or I'm sure there were ways to build an experienced farming machine. But if you don't want to or don't know how to do either of those things, then there's this. You can play Exploration Survival with any character and kill bunches of enemies and level them up. And spend your skill points, which we'll be doing shortly because Phineas is pretty close to leveling up. The downside is, of course, it just takes forever. It takes forever to level up. But aside from any of that, I found something kind of pleasing about this just general idea that you load up a level, you're going to get some random Disney template with some random Disney background and random Disney enemies, and you can beat them up with any Disney character you like. You know, if they threw in some more enemies and backgrounds and such, it could probably be a pretty decent roguelike. Maybe throw some actual hazards in instead of just platforming stuff. And, like, I spent an embarrassingly long amount of time playing this game mode. Not even in multiplayer. I would have loved to have played it in multiplayer, but this is Disney Infinity 2.0 Gold Edition on the PC, which comes with all the DLC and characters and stuff from Disney Infinity 2.0, which is the most convenient way to play the game, with the downside that there's no local multiplayer, which is a travesty. But you're seeing how slow Phineas is leveling up. Do you think getting him to level 11 was a piece of cake? Do you think that took a small amount of time? No. No, it did not. And this video is being made for that reason, mostly, because I played Exploration Survival a lot. Not just with Phineas, but also with Captain America and with Mr. Incredible. This is, like, almost all I played in the days leading up to my move down to Florida. I'm in Oklahoma now, by the way. Still am in Oklahoma. I moved to Florida around January, and now I'm in Oklahoma, and I moved there about just before halfway through 2020. And I needed something that wasn't mentally taxing to do, and I love Disney Infinity and Disney Infinity 2.0. I love the original more, but 2.0 is a good backup plan. And I just found this mode while I was playing with one of the playsets, so I figured Might as well waste my time on this. And oh boy, did I waste a lot of time on it. Waste being subjective, of course. I don't think that anything is a waste of time if you enjoy doing it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But this was simple to play. I have a fondness for Disney Infinity and Disney Infinity's combat system, and I was interested to see how all the different characters interacted with their skill trees. And for some reason I chose Captain America and Mr. Incredible and Phineas and Ferb for that purpose. Excuse me, I mean Phineas, not Phineas and Ferb. We're only playing as Phineas right now. Who, by the way, yes, does look very off in 3D, but what are you going to do about it? That's just how it be sometimes. He looks better than he does in his official video game adaptations outside of Disney Infinity. If you're wondering whether the game eventually mixes enemy types from multiple licenses together, the answer is yes. It will do that sometimes. And if you're wondering whether there are any nuances to the combat, the answer to that is also yes, but it's mostly about maximizing damage output. It's like quality of life upgrades so you kill enemies faster. It's not like the combat is actually hard or you need some sort of strategy for the combat. It's just like you can buy upgrades to make Phineas's baseball shooter reload. Oh, time to level up. Speaking of those upgrades, you can buy upgrades to make Phineas's baseball shooter reload faster or deal more damage. Or you can buy upgrades to make Phineas's butt slam do more damage. Or you can make him jump better, or just make his regular melee attack do more damage. So yeah, there's some nuance in the sense that there are upgrades that affect how you'll play the game in a very minor way, and each character does play differently, but it's not a lot. Alright, okay, game, just play the opening from The Lion King as background music. It's not like that's one of the greatest film scores ever. Sure, just use it as background music.